friends, welcome to Mountain Life Fitness Yoga with Christy. What I'm holding in front of you is just for reference. Today we are going to be learning Surya Namaskara A. This is Sun Salutation Variation A. If you are curious about the classical Sun Salutation, I have already made a video about that and it will be in the archives. This is just for reference, so after we've done it, you can maybe go back and screenshot this. Maybe make it a little better. So that you can practice this on your own a little more easily. I've indicated inhalations and exhalations because that is kind of important. So, hi. What we're going to do today is I'm going to teach each one of these different poses and then we'll put it together as a flow. So what I've done is I've written the Sanskrit word in black. I've given a small description of what that word means in English, and then inhale or exhale to tie to the pose. So before we do any yoga, let's just shrug our shoulders up, back and down, and just sort of loosen up a little. Maybe give yourself some rolls of your neck. Twist a little from side to side. You can separate your feet a little wider. Try to get your whole spine involved. Just loosening up, starting to come into your body. And the first pose of Surya Namaskara, Sun Salutation, is very simple and it's a good way to get centered also. It is just Samastihi, which means prayer pose. So your hands are in a gentle prayer position, right at your heart. Some elements of this tie into two postures. So Samastihi is the first pose, prayer pose, and then Tadasana, mountain pose, is the second one. So they're essentially, the first two poses are the same, just with different arms. So in prayer pose and in Tadasana, you want to make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your hips, are stacked over your ankles. So you might actually feel like your weight is leaning back a little, and you can feel that turn your core on. Your fingers are touching each other, pointer, middle, ring, pinky, and thumb. So you just kind of want to take a moment to be aware of that contact of one side of your body to the other. You can close your eyes for a moment and ground yourself into the ground by pressing down through your feet, but then feeling light in your body. So you almost feel like the top of your head is reaching towards the sky, or like you are hanging from the sky and you are in one long straight line. So this will be tied to an inhalation when we tie everything together. Mountain pose is just your arms are down. So this will be tied to an exhale. And you're really just like reaching long through your fingertips. So the first two poses are covered. The next pose is called Urdhva Hastasana, which is inhaling your arms up high. So as you inhale, bring your arms wide, separate your fingers, feel the energy coming out and your palms touch together at the top. The next pose is just simply a forward fold. So you can bring your hands down through your heart, or you can have your arms go wide. So the wider version would look like this. And that's really up to you. This is called Uttanasana, and it's just a forward fold. So I will go sideways and show you a couple elements. So your feet have stayed in the same position, but you're leaning forward. And anytime you're in a forward fold, you want your weight to be slightly forward. So it's in the balls of your feet and your heels are light. You can bend your knees if you have tight hamstrings to facilitate a deeper forward fold. When you are in forward folds, also you want to hug your midsection in towards the center line to protect your lower back. Arms can hang heavy. Release your neck by shaking it a little and then just let it go. So you want to feel long from your tailbone all the way down to the head. Urdhva Hastasana was the raised. Uttanasana is the forward fold. The next posture is simply a half lift. So you bring your hands to your shins. Inhale halfway up, you straighten your legs, your arms are straight, your back is straight. And this is called Ardha Uttanasana. You don't have to learn the Sanskrit, it's okay. But the idea here is that you're reaching out from your tailbone, long through a straight spine through the crown of your head, and you are long in your legs and arms. This will be associated with an inhalation. The next move is Palakasana, plank, and we're going to use 2 breaths for that one. So you're going to get to plank on an exhalation, and you're going to stay for an inhalation. But we're going to stay a little longer while I talk you through some elements of plank, Palakasana. You want to push back through your heels. Rotate your thighs in towards each other. Maybe even sink your hips down a little lower so that your hips and your heels and your shoulders are in one line. Your feet can be slightly apart as they were, because they were hips width distance to start. And then your hands want to be directly under your shoulders. So relax for a moment and I'll quickly teach you a way to check to make sure that your hands are actually under your shoulders. So a lot of times in plank and down dog, which we'll learn soon, our hands tend to be a little bit wider than shoulder distance and we don't know it. So what I like to do, you can come onto your hands and knees and then lower down onto your elbows. You should be able to clasp your fingers around the outside of your opposite elbow. That is going to tell you what shoulder width distance is for your hands. So noticing where your elbows are, rise up and put your hands where your elbows just were. While you are in plank or down dog, or really any time that you're on your hands in yoga, you want to make sure that your middle finger is pointing straight forward to the front of your mat. So your hands are straight, fingertips going straight up. Without moving your hands, you want to rotate your inner elbows towards the front of the room. So that just looks a little like that. You can see your elbow pit starts out inward. Rotate it towards the front. That is going to help with the integrity of your shoulders, keeping everything in line to keep your joints safe. So these are kind of more subtle movements that you can get used to as you practice. So getting back into plank, the next move from Palakasana or plank is Chaturanga. So this is a little complex. It's not really complex, it's just a little bit more, it's different than just lowering down. So we are going to lower halfway down from plank, almost to the floor. But the key elements here are that you keep your body in one solid plank, and your elbows are going to stay in very, very close to your ribs. And you lower halfway down and pause. This is an exhalation. Inhalation is up dog. So this is similar to cobra, except a couple differences. So your hands don't move from plank. They're still directly under your shoulders, and you lower down. You are going to then shift your weight forward, roll onto the tops of your feet. Pull your shoulders back in line, straighten your arms. Let your hips hang heavy. Pull your heart forward as if through your arms. And you can look up towards the sky. A couple more elements here. Ground down firmly through your toenails. Kneecaps stay raised. You're reaching long through your tailbone, up through your heart, and keeping your legs long and active. This is an inhalation move when we're tying everything together by your breath. Exhale is going to be from up dog into down dog. So you roll over your toes, switch your feet, and find your way to down dog. A couple of elements of down dog. You can soften your knees, but push back with your hips. Sink your heels heavy towards the floor. Hands and feet have not moved from their placement. Again, go back to your hands. Pull your middle finger towards the front of your mat and rotate your elbow pits forward. Pull the backs of your thighs towards the wall behind you. Pull your heart towards your thighs. Relax your head. This is down dog. Another way to make sure that you are getting in a good down dog alignment, you can start by bringing your knees close to the floor and then push your hips back as far as they go. Notice what that does to your shoulders and arms. Keep them there as you raise your hips, straighten your legs, and sink your heels down. A couple of elements of down dog. While you're in it, you can relax for a moment if you're following along. Shake out your wrists. While you're in down dog, you want to maybe imagine that you have a balloon tied around your hips and it's pulling your hips up so that you can relax your torso down. Let's see, so after that, down dog is called Adho Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit, in case you're keeping tabs on a foreign language. So from there, we step forward into a forward fold. And so you have a couple options. You're from down dog. You bring your gaze forward between your thumbs to start, and then you can walk your feet forward to the front of your mat, hips width distance, forward fold. Or you can bring your gaze forward, get some momentum, and float your feet up towards the top. So when you get your feet to the front in the forward fold, we are again going to have our feet hips width distance. So I have shown you how to find shoulder width distance. This is a hint for hips width distance. You can take 2 fists with your hands, and as you hang forward, you should be able to place those fists directly between the balls of your feet. So that ensures that your heels are under your knees, which are under your hips, which are under your shoulders. So in yoga, we talk a lot about stacking joints. This is one of those places you're really going to try to stack joints in a lot of different postures, and that is just to keep your body safe, keep the pressure on your joints so if your joint is bent, that it's not tweaking forward or side or back, so that they stay safe. So after we have done down dog, we step or float to the front of our mat in Uttanasana, the forward fold. Then again we do the half lift, Urdhva Hastasana. And we inhale here, then we exhale into the forward fold again, and then we come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, which is like we did earlier, inhaling up, palms touch. Exhaling your hands to heart in Samastihi. So that is the end of Sun Salutation Variation A, sometimes shortened to Sun A, or in Sanskrit, Surya Namaskara A. So a couple of key elements to think about while you're doing this. It is really beneficial to start tying your movement to your breath. So sometimes that means that we need to slow our breath down so that we can fully experience the movement in our bodies. That's one reason why we like to practice breathing exercises at the beginning and ends of class. The more that you can tether your movement to your breath, the more benefits you will get. There are lots of benefits to sun salutations. You get a lot of work on your spine and your spinal integrity with the forward folds. You're working your joints, you're waking everything up, you're bringing your awareness into your body and your breath. So we're gonna go through, we'll just do 2 Sun A's together, and then I will reintroduce Surya Namaskara, the classical. So one of the cool things about the salutations is you can really add things to them. So we'll do once on each side, or we'll do twice with the Surya Namaskara A, and then we'll add in the lunges that are in the classical sun salutation. So starting at the back of your mat, or the front of your, start at the back of your mat. And we'll start in Samastihi, prayer pose. Take a big breath in. Make sure that your feet are hips width distance. When you exhale, release your hands into Tadasana, mountain pose. As you inhale, bring your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, palms touch at the top. Your slow exhale is the forward fold, either arms through heart or arms wide. Forward fold. Hands come to shins. Inhale to lengthen through legs, arms, and back. Exhale, forward fold, find your way to plank. Stay here for the big, big breath in, push your heels back. As you exhale, lower down halfway, elbows graze your ribs, breathe nice and slow. Inhale into up dog, rolling over onto the tops of your feet, knees are raised. Exhale, roll over your toes, down dog, big, full exhalation out. Inhale, bring your gaze forward, step or hop your feet to the front of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep your arms wide, inhale all the way up, palms touch at top. Exhale into Samastihi, prayer pose. Stay here for a big breath in, and we begin again. Exhale your hands down, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms wide, energy shooting out through your fingertips, palms touch at the top. Exhale, swan dive forward. Let your head relax. Inhale, halfway lift, long straight arms, legs back. Exhale, hands to the floor, step or hop your feet back, this time to plank. Full slow inhalation up, squeezing your thighs in towards each other, hugging your belly button in. Exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale, forward and up, rolling onto your backs of your feet. Low back, or big back bend here. Exhale, upward dog. Hips go back, heart goes down and back. Bring your gaze forward. Step or hop your feet to the front of your mat, hips width distance, come up halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep your arms wide. Inhale all the way up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do it again. Keep in mind that we're going to do some variations this time. Inhale your arms wide, palms touch at the top. You can gaze up high also. Exhale, forward fold, hands through heart or arms wide. Hands come to shins for the partial lift. And then this is our cue change here. As you exhale, forward fold, step your left foot back into a giant lunge. Inhale, arms come forward and up, crescent lunge. Exhaling, forward fold, hands to the mat, step your foot back to plank. Stay for the inhalation here. And as you exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway down. Inhale to up dog, out, uncurl your toes. Exhale, down dog. Shift your weight into your left foot. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Right leg, exhale, step through into the lunge. Inhale, arms forward and up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, step your back foot forward, forward fold. Hands come to shins, inhale for the half lift, long straight spine. Exhale, forward fold, let your head go. Inhale, sweep your arms wide, inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, Samastihi, hands to heart. Pause for the inhalation, maybe close your eyes. Exhale, release your hands down, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms wide, shooting energy out through your fingers, palms touch at the top. Exhale, swan dive forward or hands through heart. Hands come to shins. Inhale to straighten your limbs. Exhale, hands to the mat. This time step your right foot back, giant high lunge. Inhale your arms forward and up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left foot back to plank. Stay for the inhalation. Exhale, lower your body down. Uncurl your, go halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Weight comes into right foot. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, step through into the lunge. Your inhalation, sweep your arms forward and up, crescent lunge, slight back bend here. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, step your back foot forward and rise up for the half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep your arms wide, inhale all the way up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands down to your heart, Samastihi. We'll do that one more time. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms wide, ground down through your feet, but reach up through your fingers. Exhale, lead with your heart, forward fold. Nice, straight spine to start. Release your head. Inhale, straighten your arms and legs and back. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat, step your left foot back, high lunge. Ground down through your feet, inhale, crescent lunge. Sink your hips down, pull your left hip forward, push back with your left heel. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the mat, step your foot back to plank. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Elbows graze your ribs, pushing back through your heels, one solid plank. Inhale, roll forward and up into upward dog. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. Weight comes into left foot. Inhale, or into right foot, sorry. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. On an inhalation, arms come forward and up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep your arms wide. Inhale, coming all the way up, palms touch at the top. And as you exhale into Samastihi, hands to heart, let your eyes close. Let your thumb rest in front of your heart space. And just take a few breaths. Let your shoulders relax back and down. Soften your knees a little. Push your tailbone gently towards the floor and push the crown of your head gently towards the sky. Take a couple long, slow breaths in through your nose, but then out through an open mouth. Good. Release your hands, Tadasana. You can blink your eyes open if they're closed. So that is Surya Namaskara Variation A. In the beginning, we talked through all of it, and then we added some elements of classical Surya Namaskara. There are other variations. I'll do another one next week with Surya Namaskara B. But keep in mind, when you're practicing this by yourself, you can incorporate many other elements. A couple of fun things to do. When you are working your way through and you find yourself in your crescent lunge, you can inhale your arms up, and then you can do a couple things from here. You can bring your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers, pull your hands down, reach your heart up for a heart opener and shoulder compression. Another thing that you can do after you bring your arms up, you can bring your hands to your heart and then twist in towards your front leg. Hinge forward, tuck your elbow outside, sink down, push back through your heel. So that would be the exhalation. The inhalation would bring you back up to center. And then hands to the floor, step back to plank, and work your way through. So when you are working through your variations on a sun salutation, make sure you do the same thing on both sides. We do like to yoke both sides of our bodies together. That's the original meaning of the word yoga, is to yoke. And that yokes a lot of different aspects. It's yoking our spiritual to our mental, to our body to our breath, and right side to left side. So feel free to play around and incorporate different movements. Get experimental, feel things out in your body, see what feels good. Or if you're feeling like you just need to move a little bit, do a couple sun salutations in the morning, afternoon, evening, and really you can change the way that your body and your mind feel just by doing 2 or 3 sun salutations in a day. I hope this was informative, and happy sun salutations. Namaste. I'm going to hold this up to the screen one more time so that if you want to screenshot it, you have your reference. There you go. Hope to see you guys soon.